Yeah. Damn, kid, always down. While my chin always pointed to the ground. Hang my head when I'm walking around. I wipe tears from my face on my bathroom towel. Until a typhoon came through when I met you. Cloudy days, let the sun through. Now I smile at the sunroof, yeah. Maybe I'm crazy, I'm out of my mind, but nobody makes me come to life like you. Said everything that I do, just know I do it for you. Maybe I'm stupid, ignoring the signs, but you're on my brain like all the time. It's true that even when I dream, just know I'm dreaming of you. Yeah. So I'm fighting for the honor, guts, glam, glory. Without you in my life, I'm feeling more less than Dory. You're everything I ever needed, way more than a shorty. When we're together, all the boring things aren't as boring. So you're the first thing on my mind when I wake up in the morning, and you're the only one I'm checking if you're seeing my stories. You're the reason why I work out. Gotta get what you deserve now. Best biceps and quads, the best sense in jobs, a new house, garage, a poolside massage, some new shoes, barrage, with anything that you want. You don't gotta work, just sip on a gin and tonic. And if you need a break, we'll take a trip to the tropics. God damn, you can't say I didn't try. Maybe I'm crazy, I'm out of my mind, but nobody makes me come to life like you. Said everything that I do, just know I do it for you. Maybe I'm stupid, ignoring the signs, but you're on my brain like all the time. It's true that even when I dream, just know I'm dreaming of you. Maybe I'm crazy, I'm out of my mind, but nobody makes me come to life like you. Said everything that I do, just know I do it for you. Yeah, just know I do it for you. Just know I do it for you. And I'm being serious. Snapchats, Instagram stories, even the freaking music, I really be doing this shit to impress you.
Howdy, everybody. Hello. Welcome. Alex here, hanging out, the Alex Cuesta Show. And David, supposed to be here. To be quite honest, I have no idea where the fuck David is. He hasn't answered me in a few hours. He's probably sleeping. His sleep schedule is all screwed up, especially being an overnight guy. And when he has to stay awake during the day and he's not being a vampire, sometimes he just crashes. But that's okay. We shall trek on. How are we out there, everyone? Wherever you're watching from, I appreciate every single view that we have, whether it would be YouTube X, Facebook Kick, or Rumble. Wherever you are, make sure you like the show. That thumbs up is massively important. It really helps. So doing that and leaving a comment, both of those things are rather helpful. Random Raccoon, hello, how are you? Happy to see you as well. Thank you for always hanging out. Today, we're going to do something a little, not different because we've done the video stuff before. David was supposed to watch a video about the quartering, Jeremy Hambley, the other day, but I am going to pick up that mantle now. I am going to be the one to watch it. I'm going to do it. But we're going to watch that video. It's an hour and a half. So we're going to be cruising through, enjoying, breaking that down. And I know there's riots, not riots, protests right now, probably turning into riots in Minneapolis after the shooting. There's stuff going on in LA and New York and things like that over in the city. And also on top of that, Iran is still heating up. So there's a lot going on right now. But we have been covering the news, been talking about it, pretty crazy. And there's a lot happening, a lot developing. So what I want to do today is we'll take a step back from all that. And what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to watch that video. and we're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to see what the quartering's been up to, maybe make fun of him a little bit because it seems like he is on that trajectory, and we're going to have a good time. That's the game plan. At least that is the game plan. Random Raccoon saying, I have a whole playlist of random memes for no reason. Well, that's awesome. Having memes always in the arsenal is a good thing. So, and also, if you want to follow us on the socials, go follow us at the Alex Cuesta Show, wherever you are. So, I want to first, though, draw attention to this. So, my good friend over here in the right of this image right here, he is the creator of Shadow Jumpers. It is a charity nonprofit for those who have what are on the porphyria spectrum. He has what's called EPP. He's allergic to the sun, which sucks, but it's always it's funny. He lives in LA. He's over in California, but he's allergic to the sun. I knew him growing up. One of the coolest, most determined dudes you will meet. Has not let anything fucking stop him, and has created this charity that has already done so much good. So what Shadow Jumpers essentially does, and Craig may one day correct me, but they take these funds that they make. This is a campaign that they're going to do, Spinning Away the Sun. They've been doing this for a few years now, but they take the money they make and they put this towards helping others that have anything the porphyria spectrum. And what they do is they, for little kids and for families, send them places that maybe they wouldn't be able to be sent before, but do it in a way that is going to be good for them in protecting themselves from the sun. So that they don't have sun exposure. So like going to an amusement park, but going there at night and having some special things set up for these individuals so that they can go and enjoy the parks at night. He helped out an individual and sent them to a hockey game to go meet some of their favorite players and things like that. So Craig has done some really, really cool stuff already. So I want everyone right now, they are accepting donations they're always accepting donations. I'll put that. But this is for a specific one called Spin Away the Sun. You see the sun sucks. I remember growing up. Now it's crazy, right? Because like I said, Craig has EPP. The sun literally creates like boils on his arms and stuff. Never let that stop him. He played football, and you would see like he had like it would be 100 degrees, and he would have full arm sleeves, leg sleeves, full visor, everything covered head to toe, and you would still see like boils and stuff. But he was one of the toughest kids and one of the toughest guys you'll ever meet, and determined and just charming, great dude, awesome guy. Living in the lap of luxury right now because his Broncos are doing so well. But this is his charity. Now I want everyone to go to shadowjumpers.org, and you can go up right to the top donate spot if you want, right over here, and click on that, and you'll have the chance to donate. But I want to draw attention here to Spin Away the Sun, which is what this is. And this is for 2026. Now they spin it away back home in Jersey. They go to Boston and they do LA. And what it is they go on stationary bikes and they spin. They go on and they just bike and bike and bike. And it's so let's read about it real quick. So let's zoom in a little so you cats can read with me. Spin Away the Sun is an exhilarating charity event similar to a bike-a-thon or a walk-a-thon, but on stationary bikes. Designed to support the Shadow Jumpers nonprofit organization, what started as a single ride in Los Angeles has grown into a national movement, now spanning rides in New Jersey, California, and Boston. Now entering its sixth year, riders, donors, and supporters of Spin Away the Sun have raised over $230,000 to help families impacted by photosensitivity, reaching an incredible milestone of $116,000 fundraised last year. Shadow Jumpers is a 501c3 profit that provides meaningful experiences and a sense of community to individuals and families living with photosensitive conditions. Since 2017, we provided sunproof vacations, home renovations, financial assistance, and transportation services, along with safe camp experience tailored specifically for photosensitivity. Founded by patients, caregivers, and medical professionals specifically from the rare photosensitive community, our mission isn't to find a cure for these conditions, but to be the leading voice in living with these unique circumstances regarding the sun and harmful light. So the goal this year is $125,000. And if you can give anything, that would be greatly appreciated. They're already at 92K, 92 and a half. And I think we should be able to smash that. If you have the ability, please go ahead and make sure that you donate anything that you can give matters. It's really important. It's important to me because Craig, like I said, I grew up with Craig. Craig's one of my best friends. He's a really good dude. And if you can go and click, and you go right here, and you could donate directly to Spin Away the Sun and help them reach their goal. Again, every little bit matters. If you can go and give $5, that's massive. That helps. And make sure that you are doing these types of things. So I love that. If you just go over to Shadow Jumpers too, I don't know if they used to have merch. I don't know where their merch is right now. Well, there's a long sleeve crew. You can go and they have a different way to cover up. They talk about their different ways and things. You go on the website and just learn so many things. Um, so yeah, there's a bunch of things you could do for Shadow Jumpers. Let's see, repping your photosensitivity. I don't even know what this is. I haven't explored his website in forever. You could put your own picture on there. That's pretty sick. I didn't know that. I didn't know that Craig was doing this. This is awesome. But anyway, I really hope that if you can't, just go tell people about shadowjumpers.org, because most people don't know that there are people that are legitimately allergic to the sun. And it's something, again, I saw one of my friends grow up with it, and he's trying to make a difference in that community. So if you have the ability, donate something. What's up, Nate? How are you? Just talking real quick, Nate, about my buddy Craig. He started this organization, Shadow Jumpers, because he has an allergy to the sun, and he started a campaign to, help individuals that also are photosensitive basically have good experiences. Um, I'm drawing awareness to this event that he's doing this year, Spin Away the Sun. He's been doing it for now 6 years, and it's if you could donate anything, Nate, go for it, do it. If not, just spreading awareness about this charity for people is as good as I could ask anybody to do. So, all right, another spot I want to jump to. I absolutely need to give a shout out to Drunk 3PO and X-Wing for their graphic novel coming out today, Daughter's Revenge. Now, we talked to Drunk 3PO when he came on, and we were pumped to talk to him, and he's such a nice guy, such a really good dude. And he showed us a little bit. We had the video preview of Daughter's Revenge. That was really cool. And then just randomly one night when we were just chatting, X-Wing was like, "Hey, can I jump on?" And we still want to formally have X-Wing on a show, and he's also a part of this. And I highly recommend everyone go and grab your copy of Daughter's Revenge. I can guarantee it's going to be awesome. Jay did the Achromatic Chronicles, and I have both of them. My daughters love them, but pirates are his thing, man. And also with X-Wing, they are just good, cool dudes. They have really cool covers. Represent is always good about doing all these covers. That's one right here. Here's another one that looks pretty sweet. Let's see. Can we zoom in? Yeah. Here's another one that looks pretty sweet with the sword. Go back to that first one. And then just the classic Skull and Crossbones. They come at all different prices, so you'll have to pick your price of which one you want. But it's 144 pages, so it seems expensive, $35, 45, and 56, but you're getting 144 pages of a graphic novel. And like I said, I think Drunk 3PO and X-Wing going to do a great job. So I'm excited. I'm happy to promote them. They're nice guys. They were good dudes that we talked to. I'm always entertained by their content and the things that they do. So definitely go if you have the time and you're a fan. Go grab Daughter's Revenge. Nate saying my grandpa's allergic to the sun. I'm aware of it. Yeah, but not many people are, Nate. So yeah, definitely go and look into shadowjumpers.org. My buddy Craig has EPP. He is suffers from porphyria, so he lived his life with it, and he's the one that started Shadow Jumpers to basically benefit and help those go on trips, any financial stuff, any it says home renovations on there, to try and make sure that individuals that are photosensitive can do things, can live better lives. Yeah, so it's a really cool foundation that not many people know about it. So um and I think just raising that awareness and helping out any way we can. Like I said, Craig's my buddy, so definitely want to help him out. Nate saying not the project, but the allergy. Good to see someone being active for it. Absolutely. Yeah, it's tough. It is tough. The allergy to the sun, it's something we all take for granted because it's like, oh, it's the sun. But, the sun has, some people are very photosensitive to it. So there you go. So let's go in real quick. We're going to check in with X Wing. There's X Wing right now, hanging out. If you feel inclined, go over to X Wing's channel. If you want to jump over there real quick, go over there, go say what's up, give him a congratulations on, the release today of Daughter's Revenge, and then come back. But I give you guys permission to go there temporarily. Tell them congratulations. You could say I sent you over there. We're watching them, but they're over there playing Sea of Thieves right now. A few of the guys from G&G and stuff like that, and celebrating Daughter's Revenge launch party. So pump for X-Wing. Again, good dudes. But we are going to get to the meat and potatoes of our journey here today, because we want to find out a little bit about the man, the myth, Jeremy Hambley, the Quarterling. Now, granted, I've watched some of the Quarterling stuff before. I'm not saying I've never seen his stuff, but I'm not an avid watcher. He shills his coffee all the time. He's okay. He's on the conservative side. Like, I'm not going to say he's not a conservative guy, but I think he's also a guy that, he makes some money and he wants to continue making money. I can't blame him. No, I can't necessarily blame him for that. But, when you're truly seeking money like that, sometimes you become the butt of jokes. And this is an hour and an hour and a half, and we'll talk about it. We'll see if I can get through the whole thing or if I just get fucking tired. Random Raccoon saying, I've never known anyone who's allergic to the sun, but I have heard of someone bully someone who is allergic to the sun by calling it an excuse to have no life and be worthless. I heard it in high school. You went to a mean high school, man. You went to a mean high school. But all right, speaking of being mean, let's now watch this video. And this video is from, I think we've used them before. I think it's Mike No More. I believe so. But let's get to it.
There's a saying that if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. But what if what you love is reading other people's articles in a camera for 10 minutes at a time, e-begging from your audience, and starting businesses that light up like the Notre Dame Cathedral?
So I feel attacked for part of that. I read shit on the internet and then react to it, but not 10 minutes at a time. I don't do them as the little mini videos and stuff. I just come over here and yak for a few hours and talk to Nate, talk to Random Raccoon, talk to Rollin whenever he comes and hangs out. We got our own little posse here. Let's keep it rolling.
The second you have to actually run them, can you really still call what you're doing work at that point? Well, you would if your name was Jeremy Hambley, aka The Quartering. The word grifter gets thrown around a lot these days. It's an overused catch-all term for anyone with a donation link or just a bad opinion. But we need to get back to the roots of the word, the classic definition.
Jesus.
A con artist, a shyster, someone who uses deceit to swindle.
And I like that point. I do like that point. That grifter is so overused right now. Like he said, I don't like your opinion. You accept money for your opinions, hence you're a grifter. People are stupid.
And if the quartering isn't a grifter, none of these other internet hustlers are either. Thing is, the quarter is not even really a hustler. He's a prolific slot manufacturer who's gotten out of almost every financial jam essentially by relying on his fans to bail him out the moment he got confronted with a problem, vomiting out 5 to 6 videos a day couldn't solve. If there's one thing I've learned about Jeremy Hambly while making this video, it's that when the times get tough, the quartering gets to begging.
I mean, this is very typical of people that tend to make their money online. Because in the end, when you're monetized, when this is your job, no one's paying your salary, right? You're the one that's paying for everything, and you're relying on people who are giving donations. And that's why Jeremy started his coffee business, because he wanted people to buy his coffee. That can also be a supplement. You have other ways of going about it. I know Timcast has their website. They also use the Rumble. Side Scrollers has their locals, which is connected to Rumble. Rumble's doing a great job with helping these individuals have more connections and things like that. But you diversify when you're trying to monetize and things like that. But it becomes difficult if all you're relying on is your fans.
Jeremy Hambly has always been two things: a neckbeard and obsessed with becoming an entrepreneur. Being a man of industry, a guy who owned his own business and didn't have to answer to anybody, has been an admittedly admirable long-time trait of Jeremy's.
Yeah.
And he's been at it for over 2 decades. Probably his oldest internet capitalist venture was his business, Be Your Own IT, back in 2008.
And the thing is, I got to give props to that, right? And I got to give props to anyone that does something like this, like what I'm trying to do here, and can make profit off of it. There is a hustle to it. Nate asking, have you watched Kino Casino's quartering Amfest saga? I haven't. I'm not sure if this video covers it. This video might have it included. I think David said that it might be in here. We're in the Raccoon, and you hit a 21 win streak on MK1 before the stream started. Fuck yeah, dude. Nice. Awesome.
How did you
Well,
get
I've been
into
YouTubing for almost 20 years. Like my very first channel, it still exists. It's called Be Your Own IT. And if you go back and look at like the oldest video, I'm there.
Be Your Own IT was a tech YouTube channel and website essentially dedicated to scamming boomers who couldn't use Google or know how to browse tech forums into paying Jeremy to give them the most basic tech advice in the world. There were already YouTube channels back in the early aughts that offered essentially the same value of info that Jeremy was trying to dupe people into paying for. Unsurprisingly, the business struggled, and it led Jeremy to making a video in 2008 that would completely foreshadow his future career of entrepreneurship.
And what's funny there is, like, it's always, if you're not familiar with the past of any of these individuals, right? I didn't know Jeremy Hambly had a first website. I didn't know anything about it. I'm not going to fully take someone's word saying that he was scamming people, but obviously the business failed. But it's you don't know much about a lot of these individuals, especially where they started. Like, many people don't know that I've been doing this for almost 8 years, if not more, maybe. And my first thing was just all sports. My whole show was the Sports Opinions podcast. But you don't know these types of things, right? Because you're only seeing what's in front of you and what you've digested of that person. Random Raccoon, I haven't lost in 28 fights, and for context, I'm no low level. I'm not the best of the best, but still not losing in 28 fights. It's still pretty good. You'll keep it going later. David's really good at Mortal Kombat too. Maybe one day, I don't know which one you play. I think David was asking. I was doing something else and admittedly probably just dicking off. But, David is really good at MK. Maybe you guys can play online one day because David's pretty damn good. He's one of the best people I've ever seen play.
I ain't got the video though. It's gone. Jeremy managed to get rid of it along with almost any other evidence that Be Your Own IT was a thing that he was once affiliated with. This was a smart move on Jeremy's part because a lot of those videos did not age well for him, including the video I'm talking about, which Jeremy literally titled "A Sad, Pathetic Cry for Help from Me." Now, fortunately,
that is wild. I don't know. Like, if this gets monetized, right? if this gets monetized and I start making some money off of this, and say my content starts to not make money, right? Like I'm making decent money, and then all of a sudden it starts going down. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do something like something like that, a cry for help. That's just a weird. I don't know. Maybe it's a me thing. Maybe I won't know unless I'm in that situation. But I sure as hell don't think I could do that.
While we don't have the video, the transcript did manage to survive. And to summarize, the video was basically a precursor to every "I need your help, my channel is under attack" video that Jeremy has ever made. Double speaking about how the channel and blog are doing great while also admitting he only makes 25 cents off the site every 2 days. Talking about how the business barely making any money is fine because it's all about helping people with his 10 years of computer repair experience anyway. He says this while also pleading for people to share the video, share the blog, make videos about his videos and his blogs, and maybe doing a response for a response, share for a share thing that YouTubers back in the early days like to do. Basically, it's been.
And I mean, there's a part of it, right? There's a part of when you're doing this thing, yeah, you're gonna ask like, hey, share this out, give me a like, throw a comment in there. And I do it at the beginning, I do it at the end, right? But it becomes a thing when like it's a consistent thing, right? Like, hey, make sure and there's certain spots that if there's like if I'm doing a rapid fire of like different articles or things like that, and it dawns on me and be like, hey, if you like what you're seeing, click the like button, click that thumbs up, and it's just a quick thing, but there are people that like DSP, apparently like the quartering here, that like to do it at nauseum and create whole entire videos about it.
Business was doing bad and Jeremy begged for his YouTube audience to come to his rescue. Yeah, bro's been doing that for going on 18 years. He might actually be one of the only guys on the internet who's been crying to their audience for support longer than Darkside Phil. Jeremy Hambly, when it comes to being a strong, independent businessman, is soft as baby shit and quick to resort to a bailout from his community whenever he can. Also, the whole thing about just wanting to help people with his computer repair skills and not caring that Be Your Own IT barely made any money was a lie, because as soon as he was able to, Jeremy sold that bitch to somebody else and never engaged in any further computer repair content again.
What I did,
I mean, there is something, again, I'm not trying to run defense for Jeremy, right? But there is something that like you do something, you start doing it, and then if it stops being profitable or it stops being something that you're passionate about or you want to do or things like that, if you could sell it, you get rid of it. I don't think that's a terrible thing. Let's keep going.
I started selling these little how to repair your own computer kits, and then some VC guy bought that channel from me, and I think I got $160,000.
Not only because it didn't make him that much money, and competition in the online IT advice scene was really starting to heat up around 2011 when he sold it, but because, just like with Review Tech USA, Jeremy's tech know-it-all was actually quite limited. Despite having over a decade's worth of computer repair experience, Jeremy can't even repair his own laptops. He has to send them to an actual expert instead. Now, even though...
Well, I mean, that's smart, right? In a way, it was smart, because if you know just a little bit more than the average person and you can make it sound good, people are going to go to you. Because also, I think the people that know like hardcore and know all this type of shit, sometimes they're a little bit too in the weeds. So if you have like a surface level knowledge of some of this technical shit, then sometimes you present it better because you're more in the layman's, right? So people will listen to you more. Nate saying quartering is boring, brand boring. Okay, let's keep on seeing what Jeremy's doing here.
Though his tech era was over, Jeremy wouldn't stop making YouTube content after Be Your Own IT. All throughout the early 10s, Jeremy would start multiple channels that were more or less just him trying to find a way to turn his various consumerist hobbies into YouTube hustles. Yeah,
kind of like Mr. Beast. I mean, obviously, the quartering is nowhere near the size of Mr. Beast, but Mr. Beast did that, kind of did a bunch of different things, but Mr. Beast was also a freakish student of the algorithm. So that's, as much as he is an evil antichrist, I do give him props for just understanding SEO and algorithm better than anybody else. And that's why Mr. Beast is who he is. Nate G, fake it until you make it. Hashtag Mudahar. Random Raccoon, that's kind of funny.
Had RC Nightmare, where Jeremy would show off and play with various radio control toys, a strong obsession of his to this day. And this wasn't the only RC channel he had, just the first and biggest one. He'd make a bunch of offshoots: RC Flight School, RC Skipper, RC Spotlight, Team RCN, and Friends of RC.
See, I never got into like RC cars hardcore and stuff, but I think they're pretty cool. I do think they're cool. I've never been hardcore though. I've never been like a builder of it and things like that. I've had a few in my life. Obviously, parents bought me some and things like that, but I've never been like hardcore into it. But they are cool. Random Raccoon, personally, I feel like Mr. Beast ruined a lot of creativity on YouTube. Mr. Beast just likes torturing people. He's a fucking weirdo, and he has dead eyes.
Jeremy really wanted to be a popular RC YouTuber. He also made Clawstruck, a channel dedicated to claw machines.
And then I started a channel about RC cars, and I sold that. And then claw machines.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
The claw machines one was my
dude.
favorite. It's so sad that died.
But out of all of these hobby channels, the one Jeremy would go on to get the most mileage out of was one he started in 2012 called Unsleeved Media.
What's up, guys? Jeremy and Brandon here from MTG headquarters. That's short for Magic the Gathering.
How's it going?
Our hands.
Unsleeved Media, also known as MTG Headquarters, was, as both names suggest, a channel dedicated to Magic the Gathering, a children's trading card game that has gradually evolved into a middle-aged men's trading card game. Jeremy's channel didn't stand out that much. There were plenty of MTG channels out there, and he would do about what most of them did: unboxing videos, talking about new sets, talking about tournaments, the latest meta, rule changes, the occasional giveaway, etc., etc., about what you expect. Still, Jeremy grinded it out and built a decent following over the years, with Unsleeved Media eventually hitting 75,000 subs by 2015.
Well, I'll say this. Again, you have to admire the work ethic, because he always manages to get into easily the tens of thousands of subs. So that's impressive. That is impressive. There is a method to being able to just create a channel and get to that point where you can monetize and legitimately make money off of it.
We got there. Or rather, we're almost there to the 75,000 subscriber celebration, and I can't thank you guys enough.
Jeremy is noticeably more chill in these videos. Unsleeved Media, like all of his other hobby channels, revolved around him doing things he genuinely enjoyed. And while making money was always a goal, it wasn't the be-all, end-all reason for why Jeremy made content back in the day. Until it was. See, around 2015, Jeremy would try to turn his Unsleeved Media side hustle into an actual business. Not just through Patreon either. He was going to launch a mobile app called Game Finder that he had ambitions to turn into a cornerstone for players in the MTG community. How did he manage to get the money to develop it? By crowdfunding it to a tune of about $30,000.
I mean, if anything, Jeremy Hambley is a key example of just go do things. Just go fucking do things. Like, if you have the idea to go do something, just go do it. That's it. Go try it. Go do it. It's the worst that happens. You fail, do something else. Like that. He's the perfect example of it.
The purpose was simple: create a way for players to be able to find other players to play Magic with. Basically, Tinder or Grindr, but for middle-aged men playing a children's card game. Very straightforward idea. And hey, it blew up. Like a boat full of fentanyl en route for the United States leaving the Venezuelan coast, I mean. It flopped, basically. And why it flopped was pretty simple. Users really weren't fans of how the app handled location data and personal info. There were still bugs because the app's maintenance was ass. It just didn't get any traction. Wasn't a whole lot of reason to use it as opposed to Facebook or Discord, which launched the same year as Game Finder did. You would think that a guy with over a decade of tech experience would have considered.
But also on top of that, I get it. You want to find people you want to play with, but that also requires having a massive user base. If you don't already have a massive user base, like, yeah, if you have a few thousand people in it, that's still not enough. Because how many of those thousands are in your area out of the 300 million plus that live in the country, right? It's almost, you would have to sit there and already have a built-in user base of like hundreds of thousands of people that are just going to go, right? Like Pokemon Go worked because it's fucking Pokemon. You knew that more than likely if you had Pokemon Go on your phone, within your friend group or extended friend group in the area, you were going to have people to hang out with and go walk around and trespass on places to go find rare Pokemon and block fucking roads during the initial run of Pokemon Go. So you need to have a massive fan base already for something like that to work. Nate's saying he's a textbook grifter. Grifter has lost its meaning. Jeremy is a paleo grifter. And the thing is, yeah, grifter, hustler, entrepreneur, like he's a little bit of all three of those.
These things before launching the app and wasting everyone's money, but nah. Jeremy's first crowdfunded business was basically dead on arrival. It looked like Jeremy was going to be stuck being an eternal hobbyist tuber forever. But there had been a little culture war about ethics in games journalism going on since 2014.
Gamergate.
Now, Jeremy wouldn't get involved in Gamergate himself, but ripple effects from it, the veterans of it, and the seeds of culture war it would spread across the web would greatly impact Jeremy's future career. It was in 2017 that he would throw himself in his first culture war scuffle. And I want you to pay attention, because 2017 is where the Hambly Ministry of Truth's narrative crafting really starts to kick in.
I just gotta say, I love the way Mike Nomo just like does his chapters and things like that. Like these are fantastic, and I'm happy David found them and does it this way because they're really good. This is the same one that did the iDubbbz one. This is solid stuff.
It all started in June of 2017 when Jeremy got blacklisted by Wizards of the Coast.
It's no secret to those of you who have followed me for a long time that I am blacklisted. Both officially, I mean, basically as officially as they can do it. I can still play in sanctioned events currently. I'm probably one offensive joke away from getting my DCI taken. There was a brief period of time where I was somebody that they would send free product to. And I'd gotten to the point where they would even let me do spoilers occasionally. I had done a few spoilers for them.
They decided they were done with this fool and wouldn't send him any more promotional material.
And you got to remember like how much that would suck, right? And we've seen this happen to a lot of individuals that I like, and things like that, like Archcast, Arch getting basically blacklisted by Games Workshop, fucking Warhammer 40K people and things like that. Nate G saying, no, he's a grifter. Dude fundraised for Amfest, prepaid the whole trip, lied and tried to sympathy grift a luxury Scottsdale, Arizona vacation for him and his mistress. That's incredible. You got to respect that, Nate. Jesus fucking Christ.
This was a very big deal to Jeremy because, again, he'd been trying and failing to turn his internet shit into a career for years, and unsleeved media had been the closest he'd ever come. Now, you're no doubt wondering why Jeremy was abruptly blacklisted by Wizards of the Coast. The story that Jeremy tells is that earlier that June, when the transgender bathroom debate shit was a big topic of discussion in the news for some reason, Jeremy, in reference to it, just made a little joke about how planeswalkers wouldn't need bathrooms because they could just piss into the ether.
It all started with a series of tweets, I think. This is how...
Oh, you see, I don't like that. He fucked Luke up. I mean, Luke's the man. And I refuse to say Luke's name correctly because it's Luke Radowski, just because the way Timcast says it.
I remember it. This is like a year ago. LSV retweeted Gabby, and they were basically whining about bad comments. So I chime in by saying, hey, comments are just that. Internet comments are even less important. Let's not be so thin-skinned. Later, the next day, I believe. This was like right around when the Charlotte bathroom thing was going on about trans people not having trans bathrooms or something like that. In their opinion, in a lot of people's opinions, I make a transphobic joke by saying, Another content creator responds and says, I identify as a planeswalker and demand my own bathroom. A clear joke. So I replied, send your urine into the aether.
According to Jeremy, this innocuous joke
I mean, I know nothing about the Magic the Gathering community or anything like that. But I mean, that sounds like enough of a joke to me, I guess. Let's see what else happens.
was taken very serial by Wizards of the Coast, who had been bitten by the progressive bug, so they immediately put him
Which
on
they
their
have,
shit list
apparently.
from this
Still,
moment
to this
forward.
day.
That's the story Jeremy tells. It's not true. The actual
no.
reason Jeremy got
see.
blacklisted by Wizards of the Coast was because he had been constantly starting shit with other members of the community all year long. See, there are two wolves inside of Jeremy Hambly. One is a greedy, attention-seeking, jaundice-filled fat nigga. The other wolf is also all of those
Hold
things,
up.
but he also has a drinking
Oh, I did not expect that. That's awesome. Let's keep going.
problem too. And because he has a drinking problem, he's worse at hiding all those nasty traits the first wolf inside of Jeremy keeps just barely under the surface. A lot of you are probably familiar with Jeremy's Twitter addiction. Boy's got one of the nastiest cases of
Oh,
Twitter
yeah.
fingers I've ever seen.
Man, when Jeremy gets to drinking, he just goes the fuck off on X. It is, and you know, people call it out right away. It's like, Quartering's drinking again. And he just says a whole bunch of shit. And it is always followed by the next day with, yeah, I was drinking again. And it's like, it every once in a while it was like funny, but now it's to the point where it's like, dude, this is embarrassing. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Random Raccoon, if it's a joke, I say deal with it. People are far too sensitive. But I mean, it seems like that wasn't the reason.
Shit's terminal. And he also has a bad habit of saying things he wouldn't say otherwise, especially when he starts pulling up. Combine this with the fact that Jeremy has been paying attention to a lot of the goings-on in the anti-SJW realms of YouTube and social media at this point, and that he was starting to look for his own SJW dragons to slay, and you end up with a series of tweets where he's constantly squatting on other members of the community, like Anthony from the Mana Source and Kate Donnelly from Hipsters of the Coast, bragging when they eventually block him for constantly tagging them just to insult them, all while reusing Kekistan and other 4chan memes he just copied from the other anti-SJW posters he was following. He also made tweets like these, posting pictures of his guns while mentioning the Milwaukee protest at the same time. Now some of you would say, well Mikey, it's not a crime. So long as he wasn't threatening anyone with his firearms or threatening to bring them to an event, it really wasn't the rest of the community's business. I agree, but it's really not a good look to make those types of tweets when you're already building a big reputation for being an abrasive alcoholic asshole.
And I mean, if you follow the Quartering at all, this is not surprising, actually. It is not surprising because he still has these same exact behaviors today where he will just go at someone and just consistently do it. And then when he starts drinking, it gets 20 times worse.
So no, Jeremy wasn't just a good boy who wasn't doing nothing but making a couple jokes at a few SJW's expense. He had gradually started to become a pariah because he couldn't behave himself. The Game Finder failure, where he basically set 30K from other Magic players on fire, didn't help his rep either. But the most notorious example of Jeremy just being a cunt was a video he made called Playset of Beta White Knights Prevent Rape of MTG Cosplayer at C Sprinkle Run. In this video, Jeremy would rant about how Magic the Gathering cosplayer Christine Sprinkle didn't like a certain horned up comment she received.
Okay, so it was drawn to my attention or brought to my attention that there was like literal rape happening in the Magic the Gathering community. Serial virtue signaler and crying for Patreon dollars cosplayer see a Sprinkle Run post.
The irony of him talking about anybody crying for dollars is actually hilarious. They're not lost on me at all.
Said yesterday, allow messages to my Facebook page again. Question my life choices immediately. Hey, I mean, if a guy tells me that he came and looked at my pictures and it gave him an erection, like, I'm like, sweet, you know?
Ooh,
I
yeah.
appreciate
That's gross.
giving you boners.
Jeremy was
Fuck is wrong.
furious about this. Why? Well, for one, Jeremy had a weird vendetta against female Magic cosplayers in general, but Christine especially triggered him because of how much love she got from the community compared to him.
Let's see what the Magic the Gathering community... 107 likes, which is a lot for Magic YouTuber or Magic personality.
They literally called her the godmother of Magic cosplay.
I mean, and that sucks, right? Like, you're just being embarrassing. Like, when you're just hating on other people like that, just like being jealous of them. Like, if there's a legitimate reason to make fun of someone, make fun of them. But if it's only because you're jealous of their success and it's not yours, like, what the fuck? Brandon Raccoon. Well, that went from 0 to 100 real fast. Bruh.
Even got a video on the official Magic the Gathering channel dedicated to her. This wasn't some random e-thought trying to grift off nerds from a community she wasn't part of. She had been attending tournaments and engaging with the community for years. But Jeremy could see the thought that everybody else was blind to. What really pissed him off were the dudes white knighting for her in the comments.
Tim Wright, jeez, it's not like there are any plenty choices online for cosplay perving. Why can't they leave the pros alone? Obviously, Sprinkle is a pro cosplayer. You know she's a professional cosplayer by the fact that she has to solicit Patreon dollars and then cry in her Patreon video to get loser beta cucks to give her money.
Now, even back then, it was really rich for Jeremy to poke at somebody else for soliciting Patreon bucks and crying to their audience for money because he had literally done the same thing a year earlier.
4 years ago, on February 2nd, 2012, I uploaded my first MTG video on YouTube. Now, 4 years later, more than 4 years later, and 820 more videos, I'm still here, producing content with the same dream of being able to do this as at least a part-time job. For the past year, I've been running myself ragged, trying to run a business as well as YouTube full-time. And while it's been worth every long night, it's unlikely I can continue this pace much longer. I'm just so tired all the time. Now,
I mean, listen. Everyone gets tired if you're grinding, if you're going hard and you're like, you know, you have a family and you're doing things. Like, listen, I'm fucking tired all the time. I got a family and things like that. And, you know, and sometimes I'll go in and talk and be like, I was tired, you know, and I'll say even tonight, like I was beat and I'm like, oh, I don't want to go stream, which is why I came on at 10. But I was like, you know what? No, fuck it. I'm going on and doing it because I enjoy it. Like, it's one of those things where, you know, for me, sometimes leading up to it, it's like, oh, I'm beat. I don't want to go in the office and do it. But then I get here and I have a great time. I enjoy streaming. So, yeah, no, let's keep going. Where the Raccoon saying, I mean, like, if that happens, not only are you a weirdo, but like, you need to keep weird shit like that to yourself. Agreed. Nate saying, I don't know if anyone grifted Charlie's death harder and Jeremy. It's definitely a competition between him and Candace. They both went hard in the paint. Random Raccoon, the utter irony. And Random Raccoon saying, this man has some balls to say this shit after what he's doing. And Nate saying Packers just locked it up, did they? I mean, oh, look at that. Good for the Packers. I mean, I like the Bears. I thought the Bears had a good story this year. Especially, you know, Caleb playing better. I know that defense was monstrous. But this is good for Jordan Love coming back and kind of shaking off some of the shit that he's been getting about. Maybe he's not the guy, but coming back with 4 TDs, I'm looking at it now. 226 yards, 4 TDs. You know, Jacobs didn't give him much. 17 carries, 55 yards. This was all on the back of Jordan Love, so good for them. Good for them. Let's keep rolling.
I wish I'd done a lot of things differently. I wish I was friendlier with other Magic YouTube channels. I wish YouTube ad revenue wasn't less now than it was a year ago. Now, you may have heard of me talk about my Patreon for several months now. The truth is, the support I'm receiving on my Patreon is literally the only reason I can spend the amount of time I do now on these YouTube videos. I feel like we've achieved adequate corporate sponsorship. In fact, I would say I'm probably spending too much time on sponsored type videos. It's a
Which is peak comedy. to hear the quartering talking about spending too much time and talking about sponsored stuff or whatever, because half his fucking videos are him talking about his coffee. Like, yeah, did you get my coffee? Do you want to buy my coffee? Hey, get the coffee. Like, Jesus Christmas.
Necessary evil as things are now to help fund all the awesome things that I want to do. You backing even $1 or $2 goes so much further than YouTube ad revenue ever could.
He was just green with envy here. My favorite part was when he started going through Christine's cosplay pictures and showing how much of a thirsty gooner he was by admitting that her PG safe for work ass cosplays made him stupid horny.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sprinkle. Let's look at your cosplay, your art, where some poor 14-year-old kid was unfortunately made an erection comment about you, and fuck him for being such a degenerate. I mean, what is sexual about this? Nothing, right? Oh no, totally nothing sexual about this. Oh yeah, here you go, Sprinkle. Another totally non-sexual picture where the Pokeball happens to be right on your fucking bush. Oh, here you go, wearing a baby.
I mean, here's the thing though. What does he have against cosplayers? Like, I mean, I have nothing against cosplayers. Like, I don't blame some of these young ladies that if they're young, good looking, they enjoy doing the cosplay and they can get a little bit of, extra change off the fact that they're hot in their 20s. Like, why disparage? Like, they're not on fucking OnlyFans. They're not in porn. They're bringing characters that a lot of individuals enjoy to life. I don't see anything wrong with that. It's weird to hate on this.
Basically a bra. Yep, nope, nothing hot about that. Here we go again. More basically 75% nude, nothing sexual there. Nothing sexual at all about this Chandra. Like, nothing sexual at all. Oh yeah, look at a bodysuit. Yeah, I'm not gonna sexualize you. I mean, fuck me if I'm gonna say that I wish there was a little slot down here, for me to, for us to pleasure each other.
Maybe should have rubbed one out before you made this video, Jeremy. Anyway, this video would end up getting deleted a short time later, but it quickly gained infamy and further bruised Jeremy's already black and blue reputation in the community. What with all the doo-doo flinging he liked to do, and also the whole Game Finder flop that completely wasted a lot of people's money. There were 3 reasons why Jeremy made this video. Envy that Christine Sprinkle made more on Patreon and was more popular than him, despite not being an elite player, or in Jeremy's eyes, not putting as much work into her content as he did, which has literally always been slop. 2, Jeremy, despite being a married man, has always had a pattern of weird interactions with women on the internet for years, especially with women he obviously finds attractive. And 3, the alcohol was just making Jeremy act unwise.
And I mean, there's just so much to that. Like, I don't know. I don't understand any of the envy or things like that. Brandon Raccoon saying, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. Also saying no one is forcing you to be a weirdo and say some shit. What's up, Rollin? How are you? What's wrong with the quartering? We're breaking down and watching about how the quartering has been a grifter his whole existence. We're just watching and having some fun and talking about it. Getting some interesting stuff. We're only at the beginning of it, Rollin, so hang out as long as you can. I appreciate you jumping in.
So yeah, all of this were the actual reasons Jeremy got blackballed. Wizards of the Coast wasn't expecting the Netbeards. They gave promo material to be the most professional guys around, but they at least expected them to not chimp out at other people in the community regularly or make videos called Beta White Knights Prevent Rape of MTG Cosplayer, where they literally added the Twitter handle of the cosplayer whose figurative rape they were talking about. Eventually, Christy...
So, really quick, there is some irony here with him talking about quartering, talking about other shit, talking about other people in the community when he's making a whole video on YouTube about another person in the YouTube community. There's a little irony there, even though I'm entertained by his videos, but that's his whole thing, is that he does breakdowns of people that deserve it mostly. Like, they fucking deserve the breakdowns and the shame that he's bringing to them. But there is a slight bit of irony there. Rollins saying, I saw him drunk once, but I think he straightened himself up. He's done a lot of drunk craziness. I don't know. Nate could fill you in up here. Apparently, he just fucked over Luka Radowski on a trip to Amfest that he never took and tried to take money to go on like an expense. I don't know. There's a lot there.
Announced her retirement that November so she could focus on med school instead. She was hanging up the jersey and she explicitly named Jeremy as the reason for why she got sick of it all and left. His obnoxiousness and drunken tirades were just too much that not even the Patreon bucks made it worth the hassle anymore. Now, was Christine being a bit histrionic here? Of course she was, but the general sentiment was shared among a lot of other people, and her abrupt departure caused a real stir. Jeremy would respond by saying he hadn't harassed anyone, which is someone who doesn't think just sending mean words to other people over the internet automatically counts as harassing them. I would feel he would have been in the right to say, had he also not tried to play victim and say that he was the one actually getting harassed.
God.
This is the type of video I would normally do on my
So this is the whole entire being able to dish it and not take it type of mentality, right? Because you're on the fucking internet. And I know like what we do here. Like I watch these videos and like I'm making fun of the quartering or whatever. And if the quartering ever gets wind of this and he starts going at me, I'm not, and like his supporters start like coming in here and ripping me or whatever, I'm not going to go and cry and go, the quartering sent people to harass me. Like this is the internet. This is what happens. You shit talk a little. I really have no problem with Jeremy. Never fucking met the quartering once in my life. If quartering ever wanted to come on the show, I'd chit chat with him. But sometimes when there's things to make fun of people about, and when you've been on the internet as long as Jeremy Hambley's been on, you're going to have plenty of stuff to get fucking made fun of about. Hell, I'm pretty sure people can go back and watch videos or opinions of mine and pull it up and clip videos and make fun of me too. But I mean, it's these types of things, they're so funny. They really are.
the quartering channel, but I'm going to put it here on Unsleeved Media because I'm not going anywhere. I'm currently under basically a full-scale assault.
I'm under assault
from people who have been misled or have been waiting for a moment to try and, quote, get rid of me. So yesterday or the day before, well-known grifter and cosplayer Sprankle decided to tweet out that she was quitting Magic. Then we see literally every major creator out there completely unself-aware, talking about me.
The irony of him calling anybody else unself-aware. Keep going.
Being some kind of serial harasser because I made a video 6 months ago and one tweet like 2 months ago saying I didn't care that she was going to be at a GP or something. You are sicking a hate mob on me. You know that's what you're doing, and you're trying to play the victim while doing it. These
people that cry about hate mobs, like this is, if they come for you, you embrace it type of thing, right? Like, and if they come for you, it's one of two things. Either you made it because people hate on you and that's fine, or you did fuck up and you just have to embrace it. Doing this, making a video like this to try and be like, I'm the victim because people are saying mean things to me on the internet after I said some mean things, is always going to get you more shit.
People are so disconnected from reality. They legitimately think they're not doing exactly what they're accusing me of doing.
When it happens to somebody else, it's just a bit of banter and trolling. When it happens to him, it's genuine harassment. Sure, okay, bro. Again, this wasn't Jeremy acting bizarrely out of character. It was an easily observable pattern of behavior. Of him asking for money from the community, then wasting it on a terribly executed business scheme, then starting drama that had nothing to do with Magic itself with other people in the community, and now there were members of the community that people actually liked that were saying they were leaving because Jeremy wouldn't stop painting the walls with feces. The permaban that Jeremy received that December from all sanctioned Magic events might have been harsh, but it was after a year of him basically antagonizing and pissing off numerous influential people in the community and also just making a general ass out of himself. The ban didn't...
Now, granted, if it's legitimate, right? Like, Arch got legitimately fucked over by Games Workshop over with 40K. So it's different. It looks very different here from what's going on with the quartering. Random Raccoon, people that cry about haters on the internet who don't do anything more than say things to you. I believe you're just a softie with an ego that got a boo boo. Agreed. Nate giving us the update. Bears touchdown and 2 points, 4 points with 4 minutes left. We'll see what goes on. We'll see if listen, they believe Jordan Love's the guy over there in Green Bay. This is the time to prove it.
Prevent him from going to non-official events or visiting card shops or anything like that, but it did essentially mean that any chance of Jeremy's Magic the Gathering channel ever becoming anything more than a hobby after 5 years of making hundreds of videos was basically dead in the water. It was the end of Unsleeved Media. But it wasn't the end for Jeremy himself though. Nah, this was just the beginning, because earlier that year, during the summer, Jeremy had rebranded his other Magic the Gathering YouTube channel to just The Quartering.
Definitely an interesting day for me. So as you know, I'm kind of going through a transition on my main channel, which is specifically about Magic the Gathering. And my second channel, which is now currently called Unsleeved After Dark because it's Unsleeved Media is my main channel, but I'm going to change it. I think I'm changing it to The Quartering this weekend.
Originally, The Quartering was going to be the sideshow channel where Jeremy would get to vent about things that either had little to do or nothing to do with Magic the Gathering. But this channel would go on to be his most successful YouTube endeavor by far, while also somehow getting him in way more internet drama.
And here we go, The Quartering. What we know him for, how I know
Quartering
him.
had already started to become Jeremy's main priority even before his MTG ban. By late 2017, he could already tell how the winds were blowing. So he started maneuvering appropriately, and I gotta hand it to him. He made some smart moves, broadening the topics he talked about from just Magic to general geek culture, the news, and politics, encouraging his audience on his Unsleeved Media channel to migrate to The Quartering, and monetizing his channel early by shilling Patreon, Subscribestar, and securing several sponsorship deals, keeping those income streams healthy and diverse from the jump. The early growth.
I'll give him that. He has always been able to, figure out a way to get things monetized and get things going when he creates the new channels and things like that. So I give him credit for all that. I do.
Growth of the Quartering channel was a rare example of him putting that masters in internet marketing of his to good use. Granted, Jeremy had made like 10 other fucking YouTube channels at this point, so really you could just say it was the law of averages finally working out in his favor. Another move that the Quartering made in late 2017 and early 2018 that would really affect the trajectory of his career going forward was getting associated with several anti-SJW YouTubers in their communities, like Nerdrotic and Friday Night Tights, Ethan Van Sciver and Comet Skate, and Sargon of Akkad and the Skeptics. Sargon, aka Carl Benjamin's clique, would be one Quartering would become especially tight with. And I mean, he would become really tight with Sargon.
Coach Red Pill asked me, keep sucking on Sargon's dick, boy. V says that Sargon's cum tastes awfully good. So does it.
Ew.
Sure enough, I found a little website where I could purchase Sargon of Akkad semen.
Wait, what?
Probably my invoice here. Let's see.
What the fuck?
Oh, look at that. That's nice. Little letterhead.
What?
Comes in a nice little vial. This is a lot. Here goes nothing.
What the actual fuck? I am, even as a joke. What the blah, blah, blah. The fuck is wrong with him?
I don't know.
Hambly was really gonna need these connections because he was burning through whatever was left of the bridge between him and the Magic community to the ground with his Scorched Earth campaign against Wizards of the Coast, specifically against their judges. Jeremy's a guy who definitely holds a grudge, and he was left seething after they banned him. Not only because they cut him out of his Magic the Gathering tuber ambitions, but they locked bro out of his Magic the Gathering online account too.
But what I wanted to talk about was
Wow, he got fucked over there. Random Raccoon, what the fuck? Even as a joke, that's a little too gay. no offense to gay people, of course. It is fucking gay. It's all right to say it. Also gay and or not, just gross. It's all the above. It's all the above, Random Raccoon.
Really digital goods, specifically Magic the Gathering Online, because, as you might know, my collection was stolen by Wizards of the Coast.
All that money he spent on boosters lost to the Shadow Realm forever. Honestly, being locked out of playing a gacha game, which Magic the Gathering Online and Arena 1000% are, will always be a blessing in disguise. But for quartering, it was just one of the many heinous offenses committed against him by Wizards of the Coast. But Jeremy was about to get his get back by exposing Wizards of the Coast for harboring pedophiles. It had been brought to Jeremy's attention that Wizards of the Coast had been lacking when it came to their background checks, and there was now a cabal of pedos working for him. Quartering went to gather in a dossier of sorts of this Diddy the Gathering he had found out about and dropped it all on their heads. And how many did he find? 1.
We start with Ross Prasner.
There was literally one guy, Ross Prasner, who was convicted of distributing CP in 2014, but continued being an active judge because Wizards failed to do a proper background check on him. He was the only one of the subhumans Jeremy would list who continued affiliating with Magic tournaments after they were caught. It's not that these guys didn't do what they did, it's that they didn't actually judge at Magic tournaments in any official capacity after they did what they did. They just had their names on some list that had yet to remove them, and Jeremy acted like they were still working with Wizards anyway.
I mean, this is this starts to be one of the things, and I think we're seeing it especially now with a lot of individuals, especially big ones. When you make accusations, when you do these explosive things, you need to keep doing more and more and more. It becomes what people demand of you. And if you're not comfortable in your own skin of just doing whatever the fuck you want, then you're going to start doing more and more and more like something like that, like exposing them, but not doing enough homework to know that these individuals don't actually do shit there anymore. They're just names there, like Mike said.
Now, a lot of you would go, well, Mikey, you gotta give Jeremy some credit. Just exposing one pedo makes this short crusade of his worth it. And I would agree with that. However, acting like Magic had a cabal of pedos running the show was the quartering being extra. Even after his in-depth grudge-fueled investigation, he only found the one guy who slipped through the cracks. And I'm sorry, but literally every institution of a certain size occasionally has sexual deviants pop up in them. Also, this was completely performative outrage from Jeremy to get back at Wizards of the Coast for banning him and stealing his gacha pools on Magic the Gathering Online. He did not actually care. I know he didn't, because when he got to one of the dudes in the video, Luke Flora, who was arrested for sleeping with a student of his, he said this.
Now, this next person is a little... I was unsure about putting this person on there, but the point of the matter is this person is technically a convicted of a sex act. He now works for Star City Games. He's a former teacher, imagine my shock, convicted of sex with a student, 6 counts, felony counts of sex with a student. He is the in-store programs manager at Star City Games, as far as I can tell. Now, the reason this one's a little dicier, I mean, is because the student was 17, but that really, you can't make any excuses for that.
There's also...
I mean, what do you mean it's a little dicier? They're 17. They're still underage. Like, especially if you're a teacher, like that makes it even worse because of the difference in the power imbalance. That makes it 100% sexual harassment, 100% all that type of stuff. So yeah, Mosin, yes, we are laughing at Jeremy, and you can come and laugh with us. How's it going, Mosin? Long time, man. Let's keep rolling.
This clip, one of the only remaining remnants of Jeremy's Be Your Own IT videos, where he offered people with peculiar material on their PCs some advice.
It's more of a public service announcement than anything else. At the office this week, we had a situation where one of the techs came across some pictures on a customer's computer that were of the child pornography variety. I don't really know if there's any tech way to put that, but the customer was reported and subsequently arrested, I believe, is last that I heard. So if you have things that you don't want computer techs to see, you should delete them. Maybe change the folder name when you take it in if you can, or I'm not condoning it. I don't think it's necessarily right. I believe it's an invasion of privacy. So if you have these sorts of things, remember that computer techs do look at other things on your computer. People look around on it, and you should make it real easy for people to find things.
I mean, yeah, let me just give you some information. No, we found the pedo. He got convicted. Don't give fucking advice. Fuck that. Gross.
Now you understand why all those Be Your Own IT videos are gone. Wizards of the Coast would implement a stronger background checks policy, but they had no real way of implementing it at a wide scale, so it really didn't change anything. It was just an announcement they made for optics' sake. But whatever, a W is a W, and we gotta give this W to the Quartering. In his eyes, and in the eyes of his fans, he has slayed his dragon. He also got the opportunity to reopen his Magic the Gathering online account so he could sell his collection there and get some money back. Which, let's be real, is probably what he cared about way more than exposing some pedophiles. Now, with all this Magic the Gathering community bullshit out of the way, he could give most of his attention to what would be his main channel going onward, the Quartering. And by mid-2018, the Quartering had mastered his new main channel's formula.
Now, I'll have to say, this is primarily when I started to find out about who the fuck the Quartering was probably 2018, 2019. I wasn't in the Magic the Gathering community. Probably that's why I had no idea who the hell he was. But, once the Quartering started to pop in, that's when I started to figure out who he was. Random Raccoon saying, for something like that, why would you give tips for people to hide it? The fuck? Just don't do it. Mo saying, I stopped watching the Quartering because he's a drama queen, and that is what his content is. I didn't know about the other stuff. Yes, he's drama queen, and he shows coffee right now. That's quite literally what he is.
Daily uploads of topical content that was well researched and that he peppered with his own in-depth commentary. He recorded himself reading the news. He would find a handful of news stories and read them on camera slowly, because the motherfucker could barely read despite wearing glasses and having a master's degree. And this would be the Quartering's content format for the better part of the next decade. It was nothing revolutionary or even particularly hard to do, hence why people like Review Tech USA have also made careers out of it. What Jeremy did have over everyone else, though, was his relentless output. This man is a slop factory, filling your subscription and recommended feeds with slop on top of slop on top of slop. Just a one-man chum bucket. The Quartering isn't just a slop tuber. He's a grand master of the art of slop tubing. This content mass production model of his would rack up tens of millions of views, tons of subs, and a massive bag over the years. But
I mean, listen, I give people credit that are willing to grind and put the time in. I know how time consuming it is to go and sit down and make videos and finding time. Now, if you don't have kids and you don't have shit, then that's not as bad. Even if you have a job, it's easier to do if you don't have everything else that comes with it. But I listen, respect where respect is due. I get it. Most people don't want to sit down and read the fucking news. So if there's somebody else that, is going to read it to you and you're already on YouTube, a lot of people do it. Most in saying, well, to be fair, Tim Pool shows coffee, Quartering shows coffee, as do several other YouTubers. They all have the same coffee dealer, and that dealer is doing well, to say the least. Yeah, I agree. They all show coffee. But the Quartering, I think, quite literally asks for it 90 times in a video now. It is more where, Tim Pool mentioned it at the beginning and end of a long podcast. So I don't know. The coffee is a big thing. I don't know. I don't think we're going to sell coffee here, guys. I don't think that's our thing. I like coffee. I like drinking. I don't know if I want to fucking sell it.
But just like with Review Tech USA, getting paid to read articles other people wrote for a living wasn't enough. No, he had to get in some YouTube drama as well. And he would choose literally the worst people to throw digital hands with. Dudes from the sector and internet blood sports community.
Yeah, going at Bloodsport people is not
Now,
fucking smart.
initially, the little spats he got into, like the one with the late and great Gonzalo Lira, aka Coach Red Pill, didn't really go anywhere. Quartering by this point was bigger than the majority of guys in both the skeptic community and the internet Bloodsport scene, and he had nothing to gain and no real reason to go to war with any of them. That was until Sargon and the sectors started feuding. See, around 2017 to 2018, cracks had begun to form in anti-SJW spaces, especially in and around the skeptic sphere. I'm not gonna regale you guys with the whole history of the skeptic community. That's a video for another day. But things were starting to fizzle come 2018, at least in the sense that the OG format was starting to stagnate a little bit. Also, the battles between guys from the dissident right and certain skeptics like Kraut T and Sargon was starting to overtake the community as a whole. Sargon's cult of personality in general was starting to overtake the community as a whole. There was a
Yeah, honestly, Sargon, and still to this day, Sargon's the guy, right? Obviously, he has podcasts, The Lotus Eaters. He was massive via Gamergate. Gamergate. What the fuck was that? But no, Sargon is still the guy to this day. He's the one that kind of everyone is still going around, and still the world's floating around him in a lot of ways.
Godfather meme about Don Sargon ruling the skeptic sphere like a Machiavellian tyrant. And there was a bit of truth to it. He would also just start casually lying about certain things around this time. Like the incident that would get Jeremy in his first battle with Mr. Medicare, where Sargon lied about something Andy Worski, fellow skeptic at the time, had said. Worski, who wasn't a fan of having his name dragged through the internet streets, would expose some private details to prove Sargon was talking out the side of his mouth, and essentially put him on the spot. In quartering, one of the top capos and glazers of Don Sargon would call Worski out for daring to defend himself and not just take it.
And people need and again, if anyone doesn't know why the casino is going so hard at the fucking quartering, Worski doesn't fucking like him. And again, like Mikey said here in the video, the people you want to go out are not the Bloodsports people, because they don't fucking care. They've been through it all. They've said it all. They've had it all said about them. There is nothing you can say about them that hasn't been said already. So let's see how this plays out for our good friend Jeremy.
Led to him confronting both Worski and Medicare on Takasa's Kumite in February of 2018.
Pure.
I've noticed people like you like to use the we language a lot. Like, oh, we and us and stuff. You're not a part of this shit. You're not hosting Bloodsports. Who cares what your fucking input is? I also thought a lot of the other things you said in your video were fucking dumb, too. I mean, you went on about it was wrong for Andy to show Skype messages from Sargon. Why?
It is fucking wrong.
Why? Should he be a bitch? Should he be a bitch and let somebody lie about him?
This whole thing is a semantic argument, right? It's the same thing where he said, oh, it's a debate. I wanted to have a conversation. Well, it's supposed to be a debate.
No, the quartering. He said he never told me he wanted to speak to Spencer. That's not semantics. That's a straight out lie, right?
Look, we're not going to agree here, and that's fine. My point is just that you could have come on and said, look, Sargon, this is what you said. You didn't need to expose it.
I could have done a lot of things.
The problem Jeremy was having here with Worski is that Worski actually cared about people thinking he was a liar or somebody who just makes shit up. Jeremy couldn't understand this because Jeremy doesn't care about people thinking he's dishonest, talks out the side of his mouth, or is just pulling stuff out of his cheeks.
And that's the thing too. If you have no scruples, then you'll say whatever the fuck you need to say. Or if you do have any scruples, then you give a shit about these types of things, and it seems like Worski does. Nate G saying, I saw that Bears took the lead. And Nate says Caleb sucks, but he keeps on dialing in during crunch time, and it's crazy. It kind of reminds me of the Jets' Mark Sanchez, where Sanchez was not a great quarterback. But if you needed to go and win a game, and it was the final drive, more than likely Sanchez is going to get you there to win it. So, Random Raccoon saying this guy is kind of comical. Yes. Yes, he is. Let's keep rolling.
Just wants to make money and will literally just lie about shit to get ahead or get out of a jam. A great example would be his drama with Matt Loader that same year. A dude in a dress. And no, I'm not being Rainbow Tribe phobic. Settle down. Matt Loader is just a guy who likes to cross-dress. Literally a dude in a dress. Now this dress-wearing fellow would end up assaulting Jeremy while on a trip to Gen Con in August of that year in Indianapolis.
And it was like 1:30, and somebody walked up behind me and said, "Hey, is your name Jeremy?" And he would have been probably the 25th person to do that tonight. So I turned around, I said, "Yeah," and I stuck my hand out, and he immediately started punching me.
According to the Quartering, who would also shortly after open up a crowdfunding campaign for legal fees so he could sue this blouse-wearing bastard, Matt Loader was a deranged leftist who assaulted him for politically motivated reasons. That is a lie. It was actually because the Quartering had called Matt Loader a pedophile with literally no evidence. This was only a few months after Jeremy's anti-pedo crusade, just to show you how seriously Jeremy takes this subject. Anyway, Matt Loader didn't appreciate that, so he pulled up to Jeremy at a bar outside of Gen Con and pieced him up. Not condoning this alleged two-piece and a biscuit combo, Loader served Jeremy, just making it clear that Loader wasn't there to bash a fash. This was a classic "I heard you was talking shit" type confrontation.
And that's respect. You want to run your mouth? Let's go fucking at it, right? And I mean, you talk shit about someone, like, you kind of expect that to happen sometimes. Like, that's it. Caveat Ty saying go Bears. Random Raccoon. Why the fuck he kind of looks like the beekeeper. Nate saying Mitch Trubisky and Caleb Williams have very comparable stats. I think Caleb's better than Mitch, though. I really do. I think Caleb's better than Mitch. Random Raccoon. Ain't no fucking way. And he says, oh, he's one of them who talks so much shit and acts hard and then cries when shit actually happens. Seems like it.
Apparently, the bar was also damaged in the fight, and cops had to show up and send both parties home.
This is the window he punched in after not being able to continue to punch me.
Now, some of you might ask, but Mikey, if Jeremy was really assaulted, why would he sue Matt Loader instead of press charges against him? As a matter of fact, why didn't the cops just arrest Loader right there after he had assaulted somebody and damaged the establishment's property in the scuffle? Oh, that's because it's an obvious lie, dude. I mean, he already lies from the get-go about not knowing who Loader was and also about Loader attacking him for culture war reasons when it was really about him calling bro a pedo with no evidence. He even lied about filing a police report. Quartering's retelling of events simply do not make sense and are very likely heavily embellished, if not simply made the fuck up. Which is probably why he would end up settling for a video apology from Matt Loader in May of next year rather than continue the suit.
Hi, this is Matt Loader. Some of you know me as Matt Fantastic. Just prior to Gen Con 2018, I let my anger get the best of me and physically confronted Jeremy Hambly outside a bar in Indianapolis over statements he made about me previously. I unequivocally take responsibility for my actions that evening, which were wrong, and apologize to Jeremy for my thoughtless conduct.
Jeremy Hambly is one of the most unreliable narrators on YouTube and is a fundamentally dishonest and disingenuous fat nigga. As would be...
Jesus, this is hilarious. Rollins saying, sucks that the game is on Prime. Data BS. Playoffs should be on network television. Agreed. I hate that they put it on all these different, like, random networks.
Proven in his follow-up bout with Medicare in October of 2018, where he would put the gloves on for his E-Daddy Carl Benjamin once again. In January of 2018, just a month before Quartering was on the Kumite with Andy and Medicare, Sargon took the first major step in his quest to save the West with his liberalist movement. Many dudes from the sector would poke fun at Sargon and his liberalists, saying they were cringe and taking this internet shit way too seriously. That Sargon, who had political ambitions that let his already big-ass head get too big for his own good, and that the IRL theater of national politics was a whole different ballgame than just making fun of some blue-haired SJWs online. His October 2018 Killstream appearance in particular would be the breaking point, and the Quartering threw his lot in 100% with his boy Sargon. Not only because he views Sargon as a friend, and that quite a bit of his channel's exceptional growth in late 2017 2017 and early 2018 was owed to Don Sargon's blessing and the quartering strategically cross-pollinating with the Skeptics audiences, but also Jeremy really did glaze Sargon to death and viewed him as his main E-Daddy back in the day. So, in Sargon's honor, and also because he was envious of Jim's popularity just like he was envious of Christine Sprinkles, quartering was gonna bring the heat. And he did it in a very bitch-made way.
You know, I didn't know about any of this type of stuff, right? Like, I wasn't in the major drama circle type of stuff like that. I didn't know any of this shit. So all this is news to me. I had no idea. Like, I like Sargon. I think Sargon's an intelligent dude. Don't always agree with this stuff. I've known the quartering. I've heard his stuff when he was like giving some of his takes, and I'm not as big of a fan of the quartering, but I didn't know about any of this shit. I knew the skeptics and things like that, but I didn't know about any of this other stuff. All right, everyone, I'll be back. Give me 1 minute. I gotta go pee. So give me a hot second. I'll be right back. I have returned. All right, we can get back to some of the video stuff now that I have peed and I am all set. Random Raccoon saying, is that an English term? What does E-Daddy mean? Sounds bad. Basically saying that Jeremy Hambly's a hoe for Sargon. That Sargon's like his pimp. That's basically what that is. Jordan Law put a game winner on Jaden Reed and he dropped it. That is unfortunate, but you know, that happens. All right, let's go back to, this is a fucked up picture. Sorry, Jeremy. I didn't mean to put you up there like that.
See, this was around the time when YouTube started to go harder against edgy content. A lot of the dissident right guys had already been purged, and even edgy apolitical content was getting shut down, including internet blood sports guys. So one day, Jeremy, out of nowhere, and in the midst of the big liberalist sector feud, starts telling Medicare to come outside. Come debate me, Jim. You know you won't, pussy. Oh, but it has to be on your stream, not mine. And why was Jeremy so adamant about it being on Medicare's stream? Because you could get deplatformed just by having people send spicy super chats to you. And dude, wouldn't it be so funny if dozens of guys with names like I Love Adolf 1488 started filling your chat with $1 donos about how much the Holocaust was based and, you know, just get your shit shut down? Bruh, that'd be hilarious. Yeah, Jim didn't take the bait. But you know a guy who quartering was yapping at the same time who did take the bait? Keemstar. For some reason, quartering was perfectly fine with letting Keem on his program. Probably because he didn't have gay ops in store for him.
Keem doesn't need to host me on his channel. He's plenty big. I'm welcome. I'm happy to invite him onto mine. Jim, on the other hand, is a coward who is afraid of his own super chats.
Letting Keemstar on would be
like the whole entire dick measuring stuff, right? It's like, if I'm gonna have an issue with someone, right, and I then wanted to talk to them, I would just DM them. Of course, Keem believed it. Of course. Hey, listen, Keemstar doesn't fuck around. And Keemstar has made a nice little empire for himself, whether you like him or not.
Big mistake for two reasons. One, Jeremy was a little too tipsy for his own good, and that liquid courage shit he dishes out on Twitter doesn't really carry over to live debates. Keem kind of paddled that ass.
Look, I don't have a problem with you. You're the one that supposedly has this problem with me.
You
Respond
called
to
me
you.
a low IQ cuck.
Well, in response to what?
Or I said I made a joke about the guy in a dress,
Ron, I'll catch
which
you
is
later, brother.
ridiculous, by the
Thanks
way.
for dropping in.
Somebody hit you. It's the first time you've ever been hit in your life. You overreact. You make multiple Twitter videos about it. You make YouTube videos about it, and now you're trying to sue the guy.
I'm not trying. I am suing him.
Why didn't you just hit him back?
That's not how it works, dude, Keem.
If he hit you first, it's fair and square. What the fuck are you talking about? My take is this. You talk shit to people, and then when they confront you, then you turn all beta, and you're like, oh no, it's not a big deal, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't know, it's like that you're like lonely.
Now, the second reason why
And the thing is, like, Keem also started, we watched the iDubbbz one, and iDubbbz did the content creator battle, whatever, content creator boxing matches. Keem also sets up the boxing matches. He took that mantle, and so he's not a guy that, he's likes to do this type of stuff, and they did the Lolcow Live as Keemstar, so it's like he's made quite a thing of himself. He's not someone to fuck with.
Jeremy bringing Keemstar on was a bad idea was because Keem let Medicare onto Quartering stream for a second session of ass paddling.
How you doing there, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Oh, how you doing there? How you doing there, Soulboy? How's it going?
Oh, I'm doing great. How come we're not on your channel?
Oh, because you're the one that invited me over here, remember?
Did you stream last Sunday? I missed it.
No, see, I didn't want to be a cunt and beg people for money when somebody's doing a charity stream like somebody else did.
So you saying you kissed the ring of Monday Matt last weekend?
Oh no, I just didn't want to steal money from children like an asshole might do.
Well,
you know what I
who
mean?
did that? All the thousands of dollars that Ralph donated? Oh wait, none of that actually made it.
No, well, I think it's the same guy that had to do a GoFundMe because a tranny beat him up.
No.
Yeah, you got slapped around by a man in a dress. You're a real strong guy, Jeremy.
Keem,
you talk all this shit to Keem. You're a cuck, Keem. You're a coward. You're a pussy. You're a bitch. All this shit.
Well,
he shows up and it's. Can I suck your balls a little harder? Oh, squirt it down my throat,
No,
Keem.
Jim, come on, dude. His take was what? That I sued a guy and he didn't agree with it. Okay, hot take.
No, his take was that you're a beta pussy bitch. You got beat up by a tranny. You are lying about being emotionally damaged with your lawsuit. And he's probably going to make fun of your wife, but you didn't show him a picture. Oh, and also you're boring as shit and you talk way too slow. That was his take. I didn't hear anything from you.
Well, I mean, am I supposed to post pictures of my wife to impress anonymous internet people or no?
You told him you would.
This is sad. I left. I was waiting to get Jim in here to see him battle, I tried to go at you a little bit, rile you up. But you just sucked my dick. You're just sad, dude.
How did I suck your dick, Keem?
You got on your knees and deep-throated.
Nothing gets you in fight mode. A guy punching you in the face doesn't get you in fight.
This is as brutal as it gets, man. Like you can't just have Twitter fingers, but then if someone's actually talking to you, you don't say it. Like he's just letting it be said. Like I understand like not wanting to like be confrontational, that's fine. But if you don't want to be confrontational, then don't be confrontational. Because then when you are confrontational and the people bring it to you and you back out like that, that's not a good look, man. Not a good look.
What am I supposed to...
Beta.
And that's the story of how Jeremy went 2-0 in a span of like 40 minutes on his own stream. Not the soldier Sargon wanted, but probably the one he deserved. That would be the end of Quartering's short-lived Bloodsport's career. By the end of next year, the entire Skeptics sector ecosystem would have changed anyway. The Skeptics would basically disintegrate through people leaving, infighting, self-destructing, and the liberalist movement collapsing after Sargon's big debut into mainstream politics turned into one of the most brutal public humiliation rituals in British history. And credit where it's due, the Quartering would come out of this tumultuous early era of of his channel not only intact but thriving. His channel would become a monthly printing behemoth. And honestly, if that was it, if Jeremy was just a popular YouTuber, I wouldn't have made this video. But Jeremy wasn't satisfied with being just a popular YouTuber making a high 6-figure to low 7-figure income. That wasn't entrepreneurial enough for him.
Which, you know, was crazy, right? Like, he was obviously making good money. You hear high 6-figure, low 7-figure, that's fucking fantastic. Just from having a channel and just fucking yakking on a channel, reading some fucking news, putting up videos of that, and you're making high hundreds of thousands, low millions. Like, come on. What more do you need?
Nah, he needed a non-YouTube related business to make money off of. And this, in my opinion, is this dude's biggest problem. Because Jeremy Hambly is one of the most cartoonishly bad businessmen I have ever seen.
You know what we're going to do, guys? We are about halfway through here. We're going to finish this tomorrow night. We're going to finish this tomorrow night because we're already at, it's only 45 minutes deep out of an hour and a half. If we keep going, it's going to end up, you know, me being in general, I'm just being honest, I'm going to be fucking tired. So unlike the Nick Fuentes video we never finished because I suck, we're going to finish this one tomorrow night. So we're going to have a part 2 of this tomorrow night. I will create a better graphic or a different graphic for tomorrow night, but we will do a part 2 of this. So that's where I am going to leave it. A little bit of a shorter stream tonight. It's not 2 hours plus, but I started a little bit later, and you know, I part of me was waiting for Dave, and then Dave hates me. But outside of that, yeah, we'll do part 2 tomorrow night. We'll see how the quartering ends up. I mean, I enjoy these videos. I think that they're good. I think Mikey No More does a good job. He's funny. He is funny, and he deserves you know, all the credit for the things that he does. And he made this. When did he make this one? 13 days ago. So it's 2 weeks ago. So it's pretty recent. So I enjoy it. Nate coming in and saying Packers trading for Micah. I'll be injured. Parsons working great. Hey, listen, things happen. The Bears maybe are a little bit better team than we think they are. They have a really good defense. They can run the football, and Caleb does enough. All you need to win a championship is sometimes a guy that doesn't make the big mistake, right? Saw that with Brad Johnson. We saw that with Trent Dilfer. Brad Johnson's a better quarterback than Trent Dilfer. But we saw those are the 2 prime examples of just have dudes that aren't going to fuck it up and you'll be okay. So there's that. But all right, everyone, I am going to dip out of here. We watched the first half of that video. We're going to watch the second half tomorrow night. And we're going to have a little more fun. And then we'll see Monday. So we'll do tomorrow night. And then Monday will be my track and field show. So I will not be, maybe. I can't promise that I won't come on after the track and field show. Maybe I'll do like an hour or so after the track and field show. I don't know. But if you like track and field, go to Talking in Ovals and go follow us there. But outside of that, I'll be back and we'll hang out. So wherever you watched from, YouTube X, Facebook, Kick, Rumble, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you click the like. That's very important. If you're not following or subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. And if you want to follow us on the socials, at the Alex Cuesta Show is where to go. So everyone, like I said, a little bit shorter tonight. I am sorry. But we watched the first half. We'll watch the second half tomorrow. And I'll see you guys later. So everyone, have a wonderful night. See y'all later.